to Friday at 9 p.m.
Good evening at you, our esteemed viewer. We want to thank the Almighty God for today. We also want to thank God for you. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you've not been able to achieve today, there is hope for tomorrow. So that's what keeps us moving. We welcome you to the Family Hour, empowering families one episode at a time. Adrian Austin Mukalazi is my name to take you through today, of course, as your host. But we have a guest, and today we are talking about something that is very, very important. I believe all of us want to achieve what we call financial freedom. This is a status that all of us want to attain, and sometimes we talk about it in an ambiguous way, that financial freedom, I've attained financial freedom simply because you can do this and that. However, we want to really get to the real understanding of financial freedom, and with us is Mr. Bwire Jonan. It's a pleasure having you this evening.
Thank you, Adrian.
How have you been? How's been your day? And yeah,
my day
it's been a while since we last met.
My day has been good.
Okay.
Hustling day and day, moving around, and here we are.
And when you talk about moving around, someone say,
yes,
moving around.
Yeah.
Okay.
We spend the whole day moving, doing different tasks, and making sure that all things are fulfilled.
Okay.
Because as a human being, when God gives you life, as you said, we have hope. Hope is the life we have. When God gives us life, then we have to use that life when we are still alive. Once you fail to use it, then it means that the life which God gave you, you have failed to utilize it. So moving around, it means like that I've been in Kampala 3 times.
Kampala, you go, you come
Kampala, Mukono, Kampala, like that. 3 times.
How do you cope up with the traffic jam?
Yeah, I try.
Well, we want to get to the understanding of financial freedom.
Yes.
And we want to see how you attain that status of financial freedom through saving and investment.
Yes.
But we should start with saving. And the other time we started with financial freedom, but we want to start with saving and investment, just to build on what we talked about last time.
Yes.
Because someone would really want to understand what saving is, because people save differently.
Yeah.
And sometimes we save with no intentions of saving. You just save because people talk about saving. And then investment also, we've seen very many people getting into business, and then after some time you hear this particular shop is on sale, or this particular facility is on sale, and then goodwill, then money lenders. I mean, there is a lot that comes up with investment. But how do you combine the two to attain the financial freedom is where we want to get to when we, at the end of this show. Now we get to saving, and then we shall be to investment.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. Once more, again, I want to introduce myself to our viewers. My name is Jonan Bwire. I'm a financial analyst at a PhD level with practical business, which I'm doing personally. It is not only in books, but it has also attained some level of practical. So whatever I talk here is not necessarily that I'm talking about the books, but I'm talking also about the experience of my life, myself, and how we can drive this to a certain level with our viewers. It is a pleasure for those people who are watching us, Family TV. In your room, you are on the screen of Family TV. You chose among all the television, you decided to come to Family TV just to build yourself and to make sure that you have something which can add on yourself financially. I also take this opportunity to thank the management of Family TV. We don't take it for granted, sparing this time just for the public to learn. And this is a great ministry which goes out there. And the people who are here, Jonah, Adrian, and very many who are on the screen, thank you for persevering to take this time not for granted. You talked about saving and investment. Last time we were doing something about that.
Yeah.
but we are building on where we stopped last
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
When we talk about saving, let me begin with saving because I want to begin with the foundation before going to the rooftop. When we are talking about saving, we are talking about the money you put aside on your income. The money you put aside on your income. I'm not saying the money you put aside on your salary or your wages, but I'm saying the money you put aside on your income. Income means you earn salary, you get somewhere, people gives you money, you go somewhere, you get some money, like that. So when you collect all this money, we call that the income, the money which has come to your pocket at the end of the day. So the money which comes to your pocket at the end of the day, the money you put aside, it is what we call saving. And one thing I would like to show our viewer is that we don't just put aside money, but we put aside money with a purpose. We save with a purpose. So saving must be called for with a purpose. And when we are saving, there are two things we have to look at. One, we look at the needs and the wants.
Okay.
Yes, the needs are the things you cannot do without. You have to eat, your children have to go to school, you have to get medicine, you have to take water, you have to sleep well. Those are your personal needs. The wants are also there. My friend is going for a wedding, I have to contribute. Someone has died, I'm contributing condolence. Someone has done this. So when we want to save money, we separate from needs and wants.
So is it me who prioritizes the needs
Yeah.
and wants? All needs are specific and wants
When
are
we were far back there in primary, they used to teach us what are the basic needs. Today, you can count the basic needs. Basic needs of a human being.
education, healthcare.
Education, health, care. You can count all those things. To some extent, the phone, to some people, is also a need. You get that? Because if I didn't have my phone, you would not have called me.
Yeah.
And you would not have seen me.
Yeah.
But because of the phone, we have managed to connect. So, but the phone remains a need depending on how you use it. Are you using it on the priorities, which brings in money, which helps you to develop, which makes you to grow, or you are using it to play games? So, you prioritize your needs. Once you have the list of needs, put down the list of wants. The wants you can go without them. Last time I was saying, even if your friend is having a wedding and you don't have money, you don't need to touch on your saving to facilitate a wedding.
Yeah.
Because a wedding is a want. Even if you don't contribute, the wedding will happen.
But they will hate me.
They will not hate you. You just need to tell them that, you know what, I'm having some money, but I've come to realize that the money I have is not enough. The reason which is making very many people to suffer in this world is putting themselves in positions which they cannot hold. Because he has seen Edwin with this, he also wants to get that very thing which Edwin has. He doesn't know how Edwin works to get the money. Go to the meetings in town here, and every evening you find someone coming to the meeting, he doesn't have money. Instead of saying, me, I don't have money. But the chairman will say, oh, the big man has come. How much are you coughing? And from nowhere you find someone saying, I will give 200,000, of which 200,000 he had a debt behind. So when we are talking about saving, specifically saving, save that money for a purpose.
Okay.
And even if you get a problem, don't use on the money of saving and you say you have released your problem now because you have saved.
I save so that this money can support me in times of crisis. Now the crisis has come, so I get into the bank.
That is if you are saving for that purpose. Because in saving, there is saving for emergency, there is saving for development, And there is also saving for future. But you don't save money. Pile money somewhere. And after piling that money somewhere, you leave it. You have to know that we are in Uganda. In Uganda, there is what we call inflation. Once you keep money piled together and that money is not doing anything, inflation will take it. And you will continue losing. Those people who know these things, they can tell. Today, the dollar costs 3,600. Tomorrow, it will come back to 3,800. And the other day, you find it coming back to 3,400. Meaning, if you kept your money, if you kept your shilling, when the dollar was at 3,800, and you kept it, and the dollar goes back to 3,400, you have lost. Yes.
So someone might say, this doesn't concern me. I'm not saving my money in dollars. Mine is in Ugandan shillings.
Yes.
How then do I relate my saving in Ugandan shillings to dollars now? How do I lose when
you
there's
just
a
put
fact?
it in mind that you are not piling money to keep it there, but you are saving for a purpose. Meaning, when you put money there, know that money has inflation on it. As the more you keep the money, the more it loses the meaning. Yes. But the more you keep money and invest that money, the more you get the meaning of that money. In other words, we don't save to keep, but we save for a purpose. After getting that purpose, you get this money and you invest to what you wanted to put that money.
So do I first save and then the purpose finds me on the way,
No.
or I first choose the purpose?
You first find why are you saving. That's the question which should come in your mind.
At a clean sheet without any penny?
Yes. Before you save any money, why am I saving this money?
Okay.
That's the question which should ring into your head. If you don't have the why you are saving that money, continue eating that money. Because you don't have the why, even if you save today, tomorrow someone is going to come with a problem and you say, hey, I have some money in my saving box. So let me go and pick that money and give this person. But if you have the why you are saving the money, you will not pick the money from the saving box or from your account or from anywhere to come and sort someone's problem. Even if you pick this money on yourself, it becomes a loan to you. You get that? If you are saving for a purpose, it becomes a loan to you. That next time when you get the money, the first thing to pay is the money you picked from your saving to replace what you borrowed from there. Then the rest, you use the rest for your personal needs. So saving should have a purpose. When you have a purpose you may say, maybe I'm saving, today I'm renting, but I don't want to rent forever. I want to buy land and build my house. That is a purpose within you. You are driving, you have a force behind, which is driving you to save that money. So you force yourself to save because you want to get land and move from rentals to your own home. You get that? Maybe you're moving on foot every day and you're getting the dusty. You say, I want to save my money to buy my car. You get that? So when you save this money, it will force you to pile to save this money to buy a car. Or you say, I'm saving, I want my children to go to better schools. You get that? But I know my salary is not enough to cater for that. So you begin the saving. Like when I put this money this year, next year I'll use my saving to pay for my children's school fees. As I save for the other year, as I save for the other year. So you're planning. So when you are saving, you must have a purpose for that saving. Without a purpose, you will not save.
Okay. Now that is home. So I should have, first of all, a purpose.
Yeah.
Then I get into hustling.
Yes.
I get this money.
Yes.
I save it.
Yes.
And then after saving this money, for example, this is what I want to achieve. And according to my projection, I've attained this money. Do I just get all my eggs into one basket? I get all my saving and pour it into this purpose that I want to fulfill?
Now that is investment line.
Yes, investment.
That's the investment line. It depends on completely what you want. Because if you are earning some small money, it may not be easy for you to get that money and invest in different business ideas. But it may be easy for you to get that money and you sort one business idea before you get to another. I may give an example. Someone who wants to buy land to build his home or his house. You may find that he's saving the money to buy land. So after getting this money to buy land, he will go and look for a land to pay. Because I have the money here. So after getting the land, he will pay. What happens there? Because he said, I want to move away from my rentals to my own place. He will begin saving money to build his home. You get that? So there are some people who save money for properties. There are some people who save money for business. There are some people who save money for something which may happen in the future. So you put in consideration. That's why I said, why are you saving? That should be the question. Why am I saving?
But now how do I project, for example, I'm saving for what might happen in the future. Maybe I'm anticipating that there might be an insecurity. So I want to keep my account with some money. How do I now measure the limit of how much I should save for this particular uncertainty?
Now, if you are saving for uncertainty, this is what I always tell people. Still, don't save your money and leave it on the account. Save your money and put it in some small business. Invest that money in some small business. If you cannot work or hustle by yourself, let those people who can add you some little interest hustle for you. Some organization hustle for you. You get that? You may invest that money. I may give an example, like of NSSF. Right now, among all companies, I think in Uganda, NSSF is giving better dividends at the end of the year. Around 13%. Around 13%. But that is annual. Meaning you are saving every year, every month, up the end of the year. That's when you can be able to get your money. This account is called voluntary saving account. Everyone can save. Everyone, the young, the old, the middle people, and all can save with this account.
Even after retirement?
Yes.
Okay.
It is called voluntary, not part of the government.
You take yourself there.
You take yourself there. It is not even taking yourself there. Click your phone, say NSSF, voluntary account, open up your account there. They will ask you for your national ID. Put the national ID, the account will come on your phone. Deposit money using your phone. You don't need to move. At the end of the year, no one will know that you have been saving with the NSSF. Go to the offices to withdraw your money and do what you want. Okay. Yeah, it is better than all other saving ventures. That's what I can encourage our viewers. If you move away from the NSSF, you can go to the government bonds. Put there your money, but their interest, the government bonds, is between 9 to 11, but mostly 9%. 9%. For them, it is around 6 months to withdraw that money. So if you can't hustle, our business, for us who hustles, you put your money there. Those who know how to calculate shares, calculating shares. If you know how to calculate your shares, you can put that money in shares. If you don't know how to calculate, don't put there. Because what happens to shares is, if the company makes a loss, you also make a loss. If the company makes profit, you also make profit.
I thought as long as I've put my money there, I've bought my shares,
no.
Then
that's why it is called shares.
You share both profit
You
and
share
loss.
both profit and losses. So if you don't know how to calculate the shares, go where your money will be protected throughout. Apart from those things, if you know to hustle like us, identify where you can put your money. Think, look, go there yourself. Watch what people are doing. Find out yourself. If you want to open up a shop, look for the shop you want to open up. Go there, check. This shop is located in Kireka. This shop is located in Jinja. This shop is located in Kampala. What do they do? What is there which is better than others?
Okay.
Find out the customers who come to this shop. Find out the rate at which the customers come to this shop. It can motivate you to build that shop and make better business.
Among the things you've talked about, I've not heard you talk about us who go to the bank and then you get this saving account. They promise you all this and this that come by your saving account. Sometimes we open saving accounts in the particular banks where they will even charge monthly subscriptions or monthly deductions, and I mean there is a lot, but I haven't heard you talk about that. When we come back, we are going to talk about also something to do with that, and then at the end of this program, you'll make a wise decision on where you want your money to be. We are coming back shortly. Welcome back from that commercial break. This is Family Hour, empowering families one episode at a time. We want to understand how we can build our savings and investments so that we attain financial freedom. It's also important that we understand how we save, because we know people who, even as we are speaking, you know that you have a piggy bank under your bed or maybe under your mattress. Someone is telling me I'm shaking tables that have expensive drinks, but this is the reality. So you have a piggy bank somewhere, and we still have people, unfortunately, in the community that still keep money. Maybe there is a stone closer to the door. They just lift the stone, put the money there, because that is the least place someone would think of when they come to steal their money. And we talk about all this because people use all these rudimentary or traditional ways to keep saving. But also we have people, a majority of our people who have gone to banks, they have opened up saving accounts, and that is where they put their money. With a purpose, as you talked about. And before the break, I didn't hear you talk about this category of people. I go to the bank X, I open my saving account, I start depositing there my money monthly.
I don't encourage that, because we are talking about growing the money. If you want to grow the money, really you want to grow your money, you don't need to open up a saving account.
Okay.
But if you've opted to save your money in the bank, what you can do is have a fixed deposit account. If you get a fixed deposit account, banks, I think right now they are giving at 4% per annum. So if you get your fixed deposit account at 4% per annum, you get some little money. But why do you opt for 4% when there is 13%? So we encourage people to get where they can get their money, because in the roadmap of saving, there is what we call roadmap of saving: save, invest, and build wealth.
When I put my money in treasury bonds, in trust, or even a fixed deposit account, am I still saving, or now this is an investment? Because
This is an investment.
Profit. Okay.
This is an investment. It is not saving now. You have saved up to a certain amount of money, but you feel this money cannot do for you what you want. Let me say I have 4 million. I need land in Kampala, which begins at around 20 plus. So I've saved this year 4 million. Why should I sit with the 4 million in the house, as you talked about the tax? You sit with the 4 million in the house, or you put that money on the saving account, and at the end of the year you're getting nothing. If I get the 4 million and I put this money to NSS, a voluntary account, it is going to yield me 13% at the end of the year, while me I'm doing other things. And I keep topping up. So instead of me saving the money in the house, I would prefer to save that money and keep topping it to a certain account which can give me something at the end of the month. It is better.
Okay.
Because people prefer to keep their money. But if you are genuinely working for your money, I don't see the problem as why you should keep that money in the tax. Let that money multiply to get what you want. But unfortunately, I would like to say this. Unfortunately, the rich, those ones who have a lot of money, they are the ones who have learned the tricks of multiplying the money using this financial treatise. And those ones without money, they struggle with money, and they are the same people you find saying, the money was burnt in my house. The sieve broke and they stole all my money. So you ask yourself, a man has been having 20 million in the house. Why? Why would you keep the 20 million in the house? Some of us, when we get every coin we get, we know how to use that money. Like I may sit down and I check which business can give me this money. Half of it by the end of the year. That's what I think about. At least 50%. of this money, how can I get the 50% out of this money by the end of the year?
Out of the investment you're
Yes.
putting in.
Which investment can I put this money by the end of the year? Let me give you an example. There are very many young boys who have grown rich in the streets of Kampala here.
How?
How?
With all the risks of KCCA.
With all the
and
risks
other-
of KCCA. They started by buying one car. Very old car. You find them seated there on the streets of Kampala.
Shaking their keys.
Yes, shaking their keys. They got the 4 million. Instead of going to put that money in the shop, they wait on the streets there. When someone who didn't plan well is having a car and the children are seated at home.
That word is that word is rude.
No, it's not rude.
Someone who didn't plan well.
Yes, that's very true.
Okay.
Because if we use soft words in finances, it means that we are putting people to say we are conveniencing them in their situation. But we must use hard words to unsettle them so that they may think ahead. Eh? I get a very big problem. People working at the same station, doing the same work, earning the same money, one of them developing than the other, and they begin calling this one that he has gone to the lake. Eh? If you know he has gone to the lake, why don't you also go to the lake and you get the money? You get that? People hustle with different mindset. So I was talking about the boys in Kampala.
Yeah.
Someone will buy one car and will sit there at 4 million or 5 million. Sit there to wait for someone who is coming to buy. Eh? Someone comes, he says, how much is this car, mzee? Mzee waliwe motoka eri wano, eri waiting, nunji. The other one doesn't know that this is his car. Eh? He has come to look for some car. But he will confuse this person. Mzee waliwe motoka eri wano, nunji, fana na bweti. He goes to the other car. Because this one, they were telling him that you are going to pay 20 million. He goes there, mzee, nyinyi enwasobola kukiza something like 12 million. So he comes and begins to bargain on this. He's there in the office. Let's go. They go to the office. He bought the car at 4 million. This one is paying cash, 12 million. So those are the people who are smart in multiplying the money. Eh? That is around 60-70% of the interest in few days. He waits for another car, he buys. He went for the Basama who have come to Uganda. They don't have time to go to the bond to process the number plate. For them, they want to buy a car, drive, go, and do other things. He waits for those people to come. They come and pay. You see how people accumulate money. He is accumulating this money. He started with 4 million. By the end of the year, his stock will be in 100 million plus. 100 million plus. So he learned the art of how to multiply money to other things. Eh? And you find them, they are very young boys. Move to that street. You find them very young boys. Eh? So we just need to know the art of multiplying the money. Save your money with a purpose and learn one thing that you need to develop from your status where you are. I discourage people who save money to eat on Christmas.
Hey.
Yes.
What if it is their purpose? For
Even my
saving
mother
their
in the
money?
village, I told her that no, time for saving to eat money on Christmas is wrong. We shall always eat what is there. Eh?
But
the culture is even here in town. In town, you find people working and saving money to eat on Christmas Day. That they spend a lot on Christmas. What is special? They are always eating chicken. They are always eating meat. They are always eating sausages. So when it comes to Christmas, they pile them now that they are celebrating.
The quantity differs.
Yes, that they are celebrating. It is good to celebrate when you have reached somewhere.
Hey.
Yeah. Good to celebrate when you have reached somewhere.
Not eating everything and then you start calling people you left in Kampala to send you money for
Yes.
transport.
I've graduated with 4 degrees. 4 graduation which I've made personally. But I've never done any party.
Hey.
No. Because I'm not yet satisfied that whatever I've graduated is worthy making a party for people to eat. You find the younger people are eating a party of more than 50 million. Because he has achieved a degree. At 50 million,
Without a job.
Without a job. At 50 million, you can begin something which can give you money. And the parents even abandon them at the end of the day. We have paid for your fees. You have finished school. Here is your degree. And he also gets the cake, gives Musei that they are celebrating a degree. Those things used to be
the cake.
Those things used to be there to motivate the people who are down below you, to show them that learning is vital. But right now, getting a degree doesn't motivate anyone now. That learning is vital. Because everyone is aiming at getting a degree.
The ones you want to motivate are even better than you financially.
Yes. And they are aiming at
are
getting
the ones
a
who
degree.
contributed to your...
Yes. So, instead of contributing money for those things, contribute money for... I also discourage something. You make a wedding, and you make people to contribute for your money, and you make a wedding of 100 million plus. You bring a decorator to take 50,000, showing off for nothing. After there, you move down, hustling. Because people contributed for your money, you are from a better family, they know your dad, they know your mom, they know your brothers, they know who is around you.
They leave you in some days.
Yes. Not even leaving you in some days, but they leave you alone now with your wife and your future children to come.
To hustle out life.
Yes. As a wise person, why don't you use that money? They have collected for you money, make a simple party. And tell them on the wedding, thanks for contributing money. The wedding has been successful. Now, don't ask the rest of the money where it went. It is going to do other things of developing the family.
When people interpret that as fraud,
let them interpret. One thing you have to understand is, at the end of the day, people are going to count sense in you, how they leave you 5 years from today. They will not mind about what happens on the wedding, but how are you living 5 years from your wedding? That's how they will begin now interpreting you. If you are living a miserable life after a big wedding, they will say, the man did the wedding, but his shoes, his shoes is needy. You get that? I didn't think to meet that man in the town like that. But if they find you after the wedding, and they find you're in a nice car, you're in a nice home, they will begin saying, the man is blessed. The man is blessed. They don't know where all started from. So we just want to train people to have better mindset in saving, investment, and building wealth.
Okay. At what point do I now celebrate the financial freedom?
When you have achieved what you want to achieve.
We have people who live in an imaginary world. For example, someone has saved their money, they have invested somewhere, and then they feel they have attained it. They have attained the status because they have been able to achieve the investment irrespective of what comes after.
Yes.
But the fact that I wanted to invest in this hardware and I have been able to establish one, so whoever passes by the roadside, they read Anaya Hardware Limited.
Yes.
So they are able to see, and so I can sit and enjoy my meal.
Wisely.
Oh,
you can celebrate it wisely, because that is just a road to building your wealth.
But I've invested.
But have you built the wealth?
No, that is what I want you to help us understand. How does all this lead me to now the wealth and financial freedom?
Wealth and financial freedom. When you save, you start small. And we say that every coin you put aside makes sense to grow your money. When you begin growing your money, you invest that money. You get that? You invest your money. After investing your money, you begin now looking how your money is working. But even in investment, we look for what we call diversification. We diversify the income. You don't just say, now, my goal was a hardware. Are you getting the profit which can sustain your life, and even when you have left this world, in that hardware?
I have the hardware.
Well, it can be hardware and giving you profit. But we look at wealth as something which is generation. It's going to stay for generation. Yeah, you may have a hardware and you be rich and you stop there. But you're not building money for generation. But when we are talking about wealth, we are talking about money which is going to be for generation. So look at your saving, look at your investment. The investment you make today to give you money should have another mindset, to think about another thing, where you're going to put that profit you get from this to get more money and multiply. I told you one day that the mathematics we used to learn, it is about 4 signs. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Use the 4 signs wisely. The signs which you should avoid to use, there are 2. 1, subtraction. Never allow to subtract from your achievements. Always mind to add on your achievement, and always mind to multiply. Don't always think to divide. Any division gives you a loss. Any subtraction gives you a loss. So always mind of the 2. How do I add on my investment, and how do I multiply this investment? Adding is 1 plus 1. Multiplying is accumulating. The speed grows. So that is the mathematics.
So I also look at someone, they have the investment,
Yes.
and then probably they reach a point and they feel it's tumbling, it's not progressing as they want, and so there is probably a need to recapitalize the business, and so you run to this microfinance A or this bank B, you get a loan to reinvest. Is that something
That's a wrong idea. When you have worked on a venture, you've tried your best with a small income and it has refused. That is a failed venture. You did not do the underground work well. And even if you add more money in that venture, it will not make you money.
What if I shift? For example, I had my hardware at
Let me give you an example. One day I had a saloon. I just bumped in it because I was going to some saloon somewhere, and I admired how people used to come in. I said, maybe I can put in this salon and can give you some money. Personally, I didn't have skills
to manage
of hair. Personally, I didn't know what people who come to cut their hair wants or needs. Personally, I didn't know who is a good barber, who is a good hairdresser. So I bumped in a salon which had failed. The person who was selling it, she had failed to run it. And for her, she had the knowledge in hair. So I said, now let me buy. And I put new management. I put in money with the signs changed, names changed, everything changed, new management. But with a few people, few new people in that. Trust me, it failed. I shifted that salon from Kawempe to Waise, where there are a lot of people. It failed. I shifted that salon from Kawempe to Busia to make a standard salon now in Busia town. It failed. Why? I didn't do the underground research for that business. and I was not well versed with that. So in any business, you don't just keep adding money. That's where I was going. After investing your money, you begin monitoring the business and evaluating. You monitor and evaluate. Don't just monitor and keep quiet that I've passed there at the station. All people are there. Monitor the business and evaluate. Is it bringing profit or it is bringing losses? And if you operate that business for 2-3 years, you cannot realize the profit, that's a dead venture. What you do, sell it, sit down, realize where your call is in business and what you love better, and put your money there. You work and you make money.
As we wind up, give us your closing remarks. This is now very serious
Yes.
because I believe it's the reason we see very many people selling their projects, their investments at a goodwill. If you go downtown, at least you can't miss out finding a shop on every arcade that is under sale on goodwill. But give us your closing remarks and probably a few highlights in a minute or two of what people should really take as something very important, especially in investment.
My remark would be, one, think of what you want to put your money in. I always tell people that for investment, you cannot go in anything you don't love. You go in something which you love most. So before you invest your money, look at yourself and analyze yourself. What do you love most for yourself? If it is doing business, what do you love most? Identify that key features in you, in something you want most in your heart. Everyone has something he wants most. So if you realize the thing you love most and you feel free to do, put your business around that area. You find yourself making money. I discourage people to get excited for existing business. A friend visited you and he told you that, you know what, if you invest money in spare, you get a lot of money. So come and put your money in spare.
It's a trending business.
It's a trending business. Every car which comes, you get money, you get money. You go there, you fail to make it because the other one has made it because it is her passion to do that business. So for you, you're bumping in it, you don't know how it moves, you don't know where they get spares, you don't know how they make money or how they cheat people, you don't know all the tricks. For you go in that business, you will not make it. Secondly, I also tell people never to buy an existing business. Never to buy an existing business. I'll give you an example. There are many companies in Uganda of phones which have come, changed the name, and they have left. Do you think they were not making money?
They were.
They were. But they come, they buy other companies in them. After buying other companies in them, they fail completely. Who is worried? Is it still existing? How many companies did it buy? So buying shouldn't be the issue. But sit down, analyze what you love most from the top of your heart and put your money where you like, not where you are forced to put the money. Once you do all those things, research and see how business work, you make money. So our viewers, you should look at the things you love most in your life, especially, we always call it passion. Once you have a passion for something, you'll make it. See the pastors. They have a passion in speaking to people. They even go to the mirrors when there's no one there and they begin preaching. Day by day, you find themselves correcting themselves on the errors and the issues they have spoken which are wrong, and you find them perfect. At the end of the day, you find them having big and better churches. So don't mourn, don't sleep, don't be there, but take one or two, 3 words of what we've talked. I believe God will bless you to to start something.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bwire, and to your viewer. We really appreciate. I believe that you have learned a lot, and so you know what to do with your money. You know what to do with your saving. You know how to save, but also you know how to choose that venture that where you want to put your money. So I really appreciate and thank you. Adrian Austin Mukalazi is my name. I've worked with Humza and Anaya. From the entire team, we wish you a blessed night. Next is Soul Moment. Do not sleep without a word of God.